Hello again, everyone! Since we last left off, I finished up the color, and today we're going to start shading and highlighting. Which is awesome, because while I say start, it's really the end. Because that's it. After I do that, I make a little blog post and I upload it, that's it! The end. Bada boop. Once again, you're protected from spoilers. I've painstakingly taken every section of each layer that is in the final panel, separated it into its own layer, dropped the opacity, locked it, hidden it. It's kind of it's kind of tiring actually, but we'll talk about all that later. So okay, so the shading and the highlighting, you make a layer above the color because we're going to be using a layer blend mode called multiply. Let's see, we'll just call it shadow as usual. Multiply. And then I have a shadows and highlights palette. I believe that's, let's see, where's the subtle shadow? For shadow, I usually make the pixels a little bigger because what I do is I use the magic wand tool to just and turn off sample all layers, because then it'll only be working off the color layer. So then I select this. Usually, I used to go through and select each object and then shade it and then go on to the next one, but it kind of takes a while, and I've acquired a bit more of a steady hand since then, so I just go ahead and select every part of that, or better yet, just control click this little picture down here, then it'll select all parts of a layer. Granted, with it selecting all of it, that's not completely necessary, as you'll be doing this individually, but just whatever works. In my case, my computer kind of whines whenever I do all this plus recording and all that stuff, so I think I just use regular shadow. And for the shading in this comic, since one, it really isn't all that dramatic, and I'm considering how dramatic the rest of the comic is, well, not really dramatic, just actiony, like this just seems a little too peaceful, so I'm just going to give it some I don't know, what would I call that? Like maybe later afternoon shading. Not really dusk. Not like orange. I'll just so let's see. Where am I gonna? I have to figure out where the sun is and then like make a note. Or, like just remember, because I can draw panels and then randomly like forget where I'm drawing exactly. So anyway, enough talking. Let's actually draw. Let's see. So I'll just have. I'll have Mario's shadow coming down like this way, so it'll be coming from like this area. Okay, got it. Now I know what I'm doing. And see, with the multiply layer on, I forget exactly what the descriptive, I don't know, like short summary of what the multiplier layer does. I know it's just, if I take this gray and then use the multiply blend mode, it adds it kind of blends this into the layer underneath it, but not just like mixing colors either. It's underneath the darkness, underneath like the darkened subset, so it's something like that. If I had thought to look it up, I probably could have told you, but now I can't. There's so much documentation online, though. I think you'll be just fine. Shading's one of those things I'm still, just like color, I'm still working on theory for all that stuff. And a lot of the times with my shading, I'll just default to like, the sun at like high noon or whatever, and like high in the sky. It's just the easiest thing to shade. But lately, I'm trying to challenge myself while at the same time, give a little more of a dynamic tone to the rest of the comics, or the rest of the composition. Just color this whole block shadowy. Luckily, this panel will be the most difficult, and then I can kind of just almost skim through the rest. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. See, I have the shadow. Well, I don't know though. But see, here I have the shadow almost looking like it's coming from over, like the sun's over here. I don't know, with the shadow like that and then like that. I don't really think it matters that much, to be honest. I think it looks okay. And okay is what I'm okay with. But yeah, with multiply, I don't have to go in and like resample colors and then find the shading for each individual color. It's just, it's fantastic. Next. Granted, whenever it comes to like dynamic shading, like with colors, you know, in a realistic setting, colors and you know, the shading and the highlights, it's all going to be influenced by specifically like the color of the light and all that. And like for instance, in like dusk settings, you would want to give it a more like of an orangey kind of overtone. And for those, multiply can still pull through, but you'll have to tweak with the shading and, you know, give it like some more red. And like for instance, giving it more red results in more of a shadow like this, which looks weird right next to it. But you know, once you I think ideally, well, really, I guess I could shade it like this and then create another layer, like an adjustment layer, and then adjust the tones that way. Listen to me blather on. It's fantastic. Gonna get it all done. This is awesome. Oh, I feel like well, yeah, I guess it makes sense. Every single video begins with Luigi, as it should be. Let's see, the light's coming back this from here, so it's gonna be more like that. Alright. Sucks halfway, well, not halfway, but like right when I finished the color and I was recording, I was like, alright, awesome, let's start the shading and highlighting. I gotta do a video. And so I started that, or I went to go start that up, and I checked my hard drive space though, and I've been drawing like all day to try to just get this up tonight, because that'd be awesome. You know, if I get like a Tuesday release, like the good old days. Ah, I miss those days when I updated like all the time. Granted, I didn't have as much stuff to take care of, but no, I was out of hard drive space. And so, what the frickin'? God dang it! How many times do I have to fire you, phone? Like 3? 7? That's ridiculous. Perhaps I'd be a little more reliable and responsible in turning that off if I didn't draw these so late and then accompany these drawings with a drink. Drinking and drawing is still better than drinking and driving. Granted, you can make mistakes in both instances. In any case, continuing in my story, I had to wait an hour or so. I mean, I made a post on Facebook/Twitter, so you might already know this, but I had to wait for Virtual Dev to compress my footage and, you know, to bring it down from 500 gigabytes to 5. But then it was telling me it was going to take like 4 hours, so then I had to just choose like, I don't know, like maybe 150 gigabytes to compress. So, you know, that ended up taking an hour, so I had to wait. Well, that feels a little too dark. This might go like this, I think. Maybe. Possibly. Not. Maybe. I don't know. So hopefully I'm not randomly going to have this video interrupted with my hard drive telling me again that it's full. I need a new hard drive. Well, more like I need more. Then again, at the rate that I'm constantly writing footage and compressing it and then uploading it, then deleting it, replacing it with more footage, I'm probably gonna need new hard drives soon. Oh, I haven't recorded a video since that last thing. Ah, yes. The first part of the time-lapse before this episode, or the first part of the time-lapse after last episode, I guess I should say. Oh my gosh. It was kind of my fault. I didn't verify the settings in Bandicam, and it recorded the video. It recorded like a small portion of the screen. I mean, granted, it was lucky that the portion that it did record was like mostly where I was drawing, but still, it's like, you know, I'm recording these at full 1080, and then a random part's gonna be like 480. I guess I'm just gonna play some rinky-dink herp-a-derp music when that part comes on, and just, I don't know, try to work with it, I guess. Okay. I'll just come back to that. Stepping away and coming back always helps. Let me see. Ah, already much more dramatic. Very good. I'm pleased. And then this is Luigi from the same pose. Let's see, the sunlight's hitting him in the face. This is from here, so which means the shading's going to be more like back like that. And then that's going to fall back like that. There. Yes, good, excellent. Yeah, I'll just deselect that. Use the lasso tool to select all back here, because this is all going to be shaded. Instant drama. Uh-huh. Good. Awesome. Okay, wait, I need to move this like that. Put a little bit of shadow there. Yes. Excellent. Okay, and just so I can put shading and highlighting into, just combine into this one video, so after this I can just, you know, go until it's finished, because highlighting is going to take significantly shorter than even the shading, and it's already going by pretty quickly. Highlighting. Make a layer named highlight. You can name it whatever the heck you want, really. That doesn't really matter. I use screen. It's the same concept as multiply. I just you know, use a. It makes things brighter rather than darker. I use. Same idea. Whatever you, no matter where you draw it, or you know, no matter where you put it, it's going to be relative to the color it's overlapping. So I just put like a thin line here, and then depending where the highlighting is, I will take the blur tool and blur. Like for instance, on clothes, I will blur it pretty heavy if it's a thick article of clothing. See that ends up looking pretty good. On skin, I'll do the blur brush pass over like once or twice, because skin's not completely plastic. Hair, I usually depends on who I'm drawing, I guess. Like with Luigi and Mario, I'll probably just blur it about as much as the clothes. if it were like a character from the real world, like Kakujo or Ilya, it would be. I would probably work something more in like you know like that. Well, it wouldn't look like that. It looks like a zucchini, but you know what I mean. Maybe, hopefully. I'm making sense, right? I'm not as draw as I drunk am. What? Ah. But yeah. Same with the overalls and the shirt. Heavy blurring. I believe that is all the highlighting that Luigi is going to have here anyway. One pass. Yeah, one good strong pass. Maybe a light there. Yeah. His hat kind of lumps up there, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. So that's highlighting for Luigi. Let's do the highlighting on Mario in this arm, and then we will finish. That'll be all for today. Then I will just finish this up, and I will upload it, and then I'll get to work on the time lapse, which I've never done before again. So, or again, I've never done before. So, not sure how much time it'll take. Normally, I would say pretty quick, because there was, you know, there shouldn't be much editing to do. But no, with that 480 footage I have that I totally jacked up, I'm going to have to actually go into After Effects and fully render that out, which is going to take forever. So I'm sorry. Oh, now that I try to put that highlight there, I realize there should be a shadow right there. Don't forget the shoes. Or the pants. Oh, I don't have the blur tool set on my, my little circle. That's fine, I don't use it that often. So it's a very, very subtle effect. I mean, if you're looking at the comic for the first time, you may not even realize it. I mean, you can only really tell, like, especially with the Mario here, if I remove the layer, you can kind of see, you know, popping it in and out, you can see where it is. But it's just those tiny little things that just wedge into your subconscious that makes you think there's something about this drawing that's a little better. And now you know what that is. Or maybe it's because I draw well. No, sorry. Let's not get confident. We'll just bigger brush. We'll blur that up. And yeah, that's it. That's you know, rinse repeat. I do create a another shadow layer for the background colors. I just call it b.shadow. Same thing, multiply. The difference here, I mean, there really is no difference. If it's a really far, if I'm putting shadows in the far background, this is when I use the subtle shadow. Just like how in the background with the color, I kind of use more faded colors, or, you know, a little more white, just so you know where to focus your eyes on. Let's see. But I do this so that way I can easily, I mean, it's this background shadow layer is below the color layer, so even if I draw over here, it's not going to show up, but if I do this, it'll show up. So with the way the light is set up, it'll be looking like, you know, something like that. It looks like that monster thing from Looney Tunes now. This is just a basic shape. I'm going to go through and edit it / maybe blur it a bit. Oh my god, I need a bigger brush, or the lasso tool, that works too. You know, something like that. Same with highlights. It's such a small, like I said, it's such a small touch, I don't even create a separate layer for that. Like, if there's really anything that needs a highlight, I'll just keep it on this layer and then, you know, put it in the background like that. So that's it. Shading, highlighting, and then it will be up on the website. So expect that hopefully later tonight, unless if my foot falls off and I just, you know, can't hold it until after the comic. It'll go up then. So yeah, that's all for now. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next video, see you then.